This BerkeleyME and MS Global Women Foundation is a global voice for women development, women leadership, and it shows the women care to the rest of the world. The focus of this foundation is global, and the most affected countries, the developing countries where women still is struggling to come in business and in leadership. They still don't have access to free health, education. Quality of life is really not to the standards. So these are the six pillars of this foundation. If you see the things to focus that we are trying to do from a couple of years is the focus of in terms of women in business. So we're trying to bring business, women in business, those who has capability, they feel that they are entrepreneurs, they have ability to lead. So we give them a full support in terms of planning, execution, in terms of empowering them, training them, and give them a free consultancy in order to make these dreams possible for them. And of course, every woman is not a businesswoman. So some women are good in terms of jobs. So creating jobs for women so they become financially independent and they can deliver their dreams through their education in the workplace and can add value to the organization. This is what is a really important thing that I guess as the human beings we should focus on, because a financially independent woman is always a need of the society, and it can bring a better family for family facilities for the whole unit. We observe in developing country, women is not in politics at all. They are not in parliament much. I mean, still there are ratio of 20-80, somewhere even 5% women are in parliament. So we are trying to raise this awareness that women in politics we should come. They should build up some kind of their political movement, so they can they reach in the parliament and they can raise their own sound, and they can be a part of those legislation which can make the woman life very easy. So in terms of politics, business, jobs, and education, we believe that women rights ask us to give free education to a woman since she is a baby child, and it converts to say a PhD student throughout the life. She should be given a free education. This is a right, and a society should deliver this right to them. And of course, unfortunately, in all the developing country, women is not taken so seriously, and education is a far away concept in developing countries. Healthcare is really important. A lot of women lost the job, lost their life every year during the, say, pregnancy through mal foods and other chronic diseases, viral diseases, and they don't have access to the healthcare. So we always advocate for women of free healthcare and free education. And justice is the most important thing, that woman is a victim of injustice in most of the societies where she want to marry, she don't have a right to marry by her own will. Where she want to divorce, she need 2-3 years, and a hell of time passes in 3 years where she get a lot of troubles in terms of making her life difficult. So right to divorce, right to marry, giving justice at doorstep, physically protecting, because in developing country, women is not physically protected as well. So these are the 6 pillars of BerkeleyME and Musa Shaikh Global Foundation, and we are trying to spread our voice in the whole developing nations. And I'm feeling that with our continuous involvements, there's a lot of things happening positively. And of course, it's your voice that can make a difference. So, in terms of bringing women in politics, it's really, really important that we should bring women in developing country in politics, in parliament, because until they don't reach to a leadership place where they can decide for themselves, change will not come. So this is for sure. I mean, there are micro level changes and there are macro level changes. Micro level changes means that where an individual woman is trying to do something, she open a charity, say school, a charity shop, or start feeding some hungry people. That's fine. I don't say that's not a good cause. It's a very good cause. But the macro causes bring a macro changes in the society and in the country. So when women will decide that the exploitation of time is finished, and now she has to take the lead by herself and come in front. She should go for elections. Maybe it's a city council, it's a county, or it's a provincial assembly, or it's a national assemblies. They should be a candidate. They should raise their voice, and more it will happen. You will see that the more women protective policies, procedures, systems, and directive will be seen in the developing countries in terms of favor of women. Bringing business women in business is also a great challenge, because I have trained almost you can say 9,000 women, and in UAE only I have trained say 500 local women in terms of the accountancy, finance, leadership, management. So global women I saw is really charged. They are having innovative ideas. Every second woman has some business dreams, and unfortunately, in developing countries, these dreams um, never comes, hardly comes in reality. So, because there is no incubation centers, there are no startup support, and if it is available, this is very minimal. It's very micro. It's not that intense. If you go to a bank will say bring 3 years financial statement. So what a woman will do who has just an idea? She want to sell online food. She want to open a boutique, or she want to uh, start a flower business, and any business idea that comes in a woman's head is really respectful, and there should be a macro level incubation centers and startups, at least each in one country, where a woman can go online, register herself, get a free business plan, get a consultancy, get a little funding, seed capital or startup capital, whatever the stage of idea is. This is really a need affair, and we have to focus on it. Bringing women in job is really important. Every woman wants to study. Unfortunately, in developing countries, most of the women don't afford, so they can't go above the grade 5. Grade 5 is the last education. Then they stay at home. They start doing small odd jobs to stay their life, and life become misery, because education is the only thing that can change the life of a human being or a woman. So it's really important that it's followed by an education plan. Like once you give them an education, then of course you need to bring them in the job. Now, bringing them job require people like us to generate some kind of projects. These projects are really unique and innovative. I will share some projects that we have initiated, which will create a lot of women jobs. And I'm sure that every city, every country can copy the same model, and they can move ahead with this. Time does not permit me, so I can't go in much details, but I'm just skimming and brief. I'm giving you give women a free education. That's really important because a woman is the one who will make the family. The first woman I encounter and everyone encounter is my mother. If my mother would not be educated, spark leader, if she is not dynamic in terms of importance of education, I would not be an educated person, that's for sure. So the women, your mother, your wife, your sisters, your daughters, these are always the one that is your inspiration. They are the one that you depend on. And of course, if they are educated, then it's very likely that the whole family is going to take up the vision of education. And you will see, like in your families, your grandfather, your father, your grandmother, your mother, if they like to you to be educated, then you are educated, of course. Free healthcare is really important. I just emphasize that in developing countries, still it will be surprising for you. I have visited those places myself. There, the woman is still delivering a baby on. It's just like a road, I mean, openly and there's no doctor, there's no assistance right and left. So these are really depressed and assisted area which require our focus. So at least we should talk about it. So we can raise some kind of awareness. Protect women and child is really important. We need women and child protection centers. So because in developing countries, sometimes women is having physical threats from society in different ways. So we need to protect women and child. Care your elders is very, very important because caring elders are shows the grace of the society. If you see in Europe, in UK, we have old homes where when the parents are really old, you need to take care of them. Now, in developing countries, previously we had an idea that we should care our own parents. That's fine. This is a very good idea. But what about those parents that they don't have any kids? And some has only girls that got married. There's no one to take care of them. So and the ratio of man versus woman is distorting. More women, less men in some societies. So we need to take care of our elders. We should respect them. If we will respect them, we will get the respect because elder uh, is a system of creator that we need to respect our elders who don't have a family unit. They need assisted places and assistance from us. So in developing countries, we should raise this sound to create the we should care for our elders and building elders homes and making such laws which goes in the favor of like in civilized countries like UK, USA, we see that if you become a senior citizen, your transportation become cheap, your food become cheap, any necessities, you have enough facilities and discounts. This kind of culture we need to brought in the developing countries, and then it's going to help us.